What's good, guys? Today I want to talk to you about how we can handle change. Now, when I was younger, I hated the idea of change. I hated the idea of being able to not be able to control my life. And one thing my mom used to always say to me is, Charles, the only thing consistent in life is change. And I hated this. I hated this to no end, because when she used to say this, I instantly felt powerless, hopeless, unable to control anything. And the problem is, as I've gotten older, that has not changed. I still feel pretty uncomfortable with change. And I think many of us deal with that situation where we feel uncomfortable. We hate it because in a lot of ways with change comes fear. It comes the feeling of fear. It comes the feeling of being powerless. It comes the feeling of not having control. And so today I want to offer you guys 3 tips that may help you deal with change. Let's go. So tip number 1 is be flexible and learn to embrace change. A lot of times when we first encounter change, a lot of times when we first have to deal with change, our immediate reaction is to put up a defense, is to protect ourselves and keep us as far away from change as possible. But in order for us to be happy in life, in order for us to be able to fully accept life and all of its changes, we must learn to embrace change and learn to be flexible with change. Tip number 2 is face your fears. Now, we all have fears when it comes to change. For me, when I was a kid, moving to a new school always brought that fear. The fear of having to meet new people, of having to deal with new teachers, and maybe having a difficult time readjusting to a new area when I was a child. As an adult, I have different fears when it comes to change. But we all have fears in general when it comes to change. There's certain things about the change itself that makes us afraid. But if we can learn to embrace those fears and face them, we can become successful. We can learn to be happy even despite the fears themselves. So one thing I want to say is a great way to face your fears is by writing down these fears, by putting them on paper, by taking ourselves out of the situation and putting them on paper and looking at it objectively. We can stop dwelling on it and being stuck on the fears and learn to let them go. The final tip I want to leave with you guys is to focus on the things that you can control. Life will throw you a lot of different curveballs. It will go a lot of different directions we may not want life to go. It may go right when we want it to go left. It may take a U-turn when we want life to go straight. Change is inevitable. It's unstoppable. So although we may not control the world around us, the weather, other people, or situations as a whole, what we can control, the one thing we can control, is our attitude and our actions. If you find yourself in a situation where you're afraid and you know that change is inevitable, learn to control yourself. Like I said earlier, some of the most successful people in life are able to be flexible, are able to face their fears and control not the world around them, themselves. They're able to redirect their energies, their talents, their abilities in ways that allow them to not necessarily get rid of change, but to get a leg up on change. All right, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Until next time, peace.